Alright. It must be that time. We must be there. We must be. It's got to be the case. Alright. Means I need to check on things. It looks like the streams are working on all 3 platforms. Look at Rumble Gang showing up. Crazy. Lurks. Look good. Don't know. We've at least got our MySpace top 8. Oh no, actually this is way more. This is like 10. Wait. 4, 8. Oh, 13. Okay, listen. We gotta make cuts, you guys. You know this. We put friends before frames, but listen, we also can't have the stream crash. we can't have the stream crash. We gotta rein it in somewhere. We gotta draw the line. Okay. Hang on. Okay, it's a lot of Rumble lurks. We're gonna have to pull in some Rumble lurks. Let's see. Oh, good. You ended. I'll bet. Okay. And you ended. Awesome. And you ended. Oh, okay. That's not so bad. Okay, we've got a MySpace top 9 on Twitch. And an equal number on Rumble. Alright. It's fine. We're not gonna... It's fine. I know everybody's just like, hurry the hell up. What's this still waiting for? He's waiting for the countdown. Chill, it's fine. Brief. Everybody brief. Also, why is my Twitch one not going through up on my screen? Why is it no work? Why is it... Is that gonna pop up? No. Odd. Let me refresh that chat. We'll try again. We got handsome Squidward. That's cool. Hey, it works. Hey, we did it. I just need to refresh the page. Turns out unplugging it and plugging it back in, you guys. I know it's a novel idea, I know, but I'm something of a trailblazer. Something of a trendsetter. Something of a, let's give it a go and see, and maybe others will follow suit with the trail we blaze. It's very good to see you. Greetings, salutations all. I hope that you're well. It's very good indeed to see you. Mel was here so heckin' early on all the heckin' platforms. I appreciate you, Mel. Means an awful heckin' lot. Thank you. And Intra, hi Intra. And Guts, welcome in. And Leanne, hello, fabulous Leanne. Thank you for calling her out, Mel. I appreciate you. And Marsh, Sir Marsh, holy cannoli. So starstruck. I'm so heckin' starstruck. I swears it's good to see you, sir. A very good pleasure indeed. Intra, how the devil are we, my friend? Irie! Gang, today, I had some trepidation. Today, I was like, I don't know how things are gonna go. But then, who should appear? Who should show up? This fabulous human right here. And that's when I knew 18 would go berry. That's when I knew. Irie, a pleasure, my friend. Continues to be. I hope that you've been well. Hope you and yours are doing so gosh darn good that you can hardly stand it. Absolutely crazy. Cass, hiya Cass. Hello. It's very good to see you. I had no idea. Of course, that's because that's part of the consequence of not being in regular relationship with people is you don't know what they're going through. So I hope that you're doing well. I hope that you're doing all right. I'm keeping it purposefully vague, you know, but I hope that you're doing all right on the other side of this thing. That's crazy. It's very good to have you here, madame. Very good to have you here indeed. A moment I'll have to pour something nice, and I get to raise a glass to you, lovely lot. All of you who've made the time coming on out. Cat, how you doing, Cat? It's very good to see you. Only listening in. Have a wonderful stream. Thank you. I appreciate you. It means an awful heckin' lot. The bandwidth means a ton. Thank you. Even for all of you guys who can't participate, who can't do that, I appreciate it. It doesn't change the consequentialness. That's right. I said consequentialness. You're welcome. Look, we're classy. Look, we've got a monocle. It's right there. That's okay. You just gotta... It's alright. It's okay. Okay, let me see here. Let me see. Didn't realize we had such chill vibe music? Yeah, emote's rather aggressive. Nah, you're just vibing to the piano. It's okay. It's very good. Oh, dapper, I'm glad you approve. I'm glad that you approve, madame. And I went dark and brooding tonight. No particular reason. Burge, how you doing, Burge? How is you? Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. I hope that 2026 has been kind to you so far, Burge. Welcome in. Welcome, welcome. On this most auspicious of evenings. Yes, the night that the schedule is changing. Starting tomorrow. Tomorrow, you guys. Our first ever Saturday morning stream. I mean, our first ever morning stream. I'm going to have to figure out the lighting. Like, these blinds are, like, fine. But they're not amazing at blocking out the light. And there's going to be something. My lighting's going to be a bit weird. Lighting's going to be a bit weird. I don't have to, like, hang blankets over the windows or something. This is ridiculous. Someone's like, get curtains. That's what I said. Hang blankets over the windows. Guts, hiya, Guts. It's good to see you. I got you. Okay, blinker fluid and an Apex pack. Oh my gosh. Okay, we'll start with the Apex pack. We'll get you some disappointment on the ledger. On the ledger, my friend. You know, beyond what your eyes have already had foisted upon them. Yeah. Speaking of eyes, eye drop content and try. Turns out, you guys, hydration. It's important. It's an important thing. All right. Whew. Oh, wow. Oh, God. That was a speed round. We actually did okay. Precision wasn't bad either. Marks for accuracy, and I would say marks for speed, too. That was nothing to shake a stick at. Plus, I've few sticks. So, it's a good thing. It's a good thing, that. Let me see. Blink, blink, blink. Through the eye drops, the hydration. David! How you doing, David? Welcome in. Welcome. How the devil are we? How's the time zones treating you? I hope well. I hope the weekend's eve finds you doing all right. It is to be hoped, David. It is to be hoped. It is to be hoped. I see the symbol next to your name, and I'm like, I want to play Ark. Not this minute. No Ark this very second. But I want to play more Ark. I want to do it. Listen, I don't get to do gaming these days, guys. I don't get to do it. Don't need to do it. You didn't get to do it. Which dance? Which dance are we doing? The who dance? Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty good one. It's a pretty good one. Days some good uns. Days some good uns in there. We've also got Perry Dumpy. We love to see the Perry Dumpy. I mean, who wouldn't? Come now. It's good to see you, Doc. If that is your real name. Don't forget, you guys, send in pictures. He prefers video, so he's got like more of a 3D look at any fungi you might have. He is an actual doctor. And he loves it when I say that, too. He loves that. He loves when I encourage people to do that. Thank you for calling him out, Mal. I appreciate it. Retro! Oh, my gosh. Just early. It supports Gus. I don't think you start that 10 at all. What? Just early. Supports Gus. I don't think you start that 10 at all. What? Well, I was going to say I know all of those words separately, but I don't. I don't know all those words separately. Retro, it's good to see you, my friend. Thank you for calling him out, Mel. Means an awful lot. Gail, hello. Hello. Very good to see you. Welcome. Welcome. Let me see here. Oh, scroll bar. Oh, intra dancing. We dancing? Hell yeah, let's go. We bebopping. We arrive. Love it, Gail. Love the arrive. Very good. I'm tuning in from the gym. Chest and shoulders. Oh my gosh, this dude from the gym. As if the physical heavy lifting wasn't enough, this man's has to then deal with me, yours truly. Talk about taking a tough situation and making it worse, you guys. Talk about tough. Oh, he's got a carry all right. Stuff. I'm glad to have you, my dude, and I'm humbled you do so from the gym. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Mary Chrysler, that's right, it's a crisis. Oh my gosh. Having a time on your meds. Yes, she was, Cass. Yes, she was. It's also her profile picture in Discord. Unless you changed it, I can't remember, but it's a hilarious picture. Big fan. Big fan. Oh, let me see here. Getting better. Good. Got better. Not a newt anymore. Not a newt. We love it. We love it. Not blinkering any fluid right now. My eyes are too leaky. I owe you one. Very well. Very well. Playing games, a luxury we can only dream of. Isn't that the truth, Marsh? Isn't that the truth? I have been irresponsible a couple times in the last couple weeks because I'm like, all right, listen. It's been like 12 days of non-stop work. Maybe I squeeze in 2 hours. 2 hours of irresponsibility. Crazy. Crazy. So I'm hopeful. I am hopeful that in the months to come that I'll get to do some gamering. That would be pretty cool. That would be pretty cool. All the time allergies. Overachiever. Fun guy, not fun guy. No, I think you said the same thing twice, my dude. You just spelled it differently. We're saying the same thing, Pri. We're saying the same thing. Send him your pictures, you guys. He loves that. He loves that. Turn it back on and turn it off again. Oh, early. Oh, IT support. Oh, not it support. Got it. And I don't think you started that trend. No, I think I did. I think that, I think that's me. A trendsetter? Yeah. I'm pretty sure I came up with that, Retro. Yeah. I think that's, yep. Allergic to time. Correct. Unfortunately, I mean, fortunate for everybody with a fungus, Doc here's your guy. But he's also not a time doctor. Different kind of doctor. He doesn't even own a phone booth. So, yeah, if you're allergic to time, he's not the guy to call there, Guts. Not the one. Gotta choose hard mode whenever possible. This man's. I appreciate the lurk. I appreciate it on Twitch, Bell. Thank you. And on YouTube. I like the YB. It's very good. The U-boob. They used to call it the boob tube. They used it to do that. Wait, who just went live? Oh, another friend. Ah, shoot. Oh, sick. You just ended. Oh, bet. I get to trade one for the other. Jaeger went live. Okay, hang on. We got Jaeger. Got very good. Also, babe, your godson is being streamed. Yeah, CJ's streaming with little Atreus. He's reading bedtime story to little Atreus on stream. That is my godson, that little dude. 2 years old, you guys. 2 years! It's ridiculous, is what it is. It's unbelievable. Honey, Rumble, I'm home. That's right. It's right. On Rumble is very good, very good. We got the burb over there. So, gang, yes. Tonight is the end of my 3-stream era. This is someday when we have an Eras tour, which I will also pioneer. No one will have done that before. I will trailblaze on this, just like the turn it off and then turn it back on again thing that I've popularized. I think I will call it my Eras tour. And when we get there, not if, when we get there, we will we'll cast our minds back to the days when, the days of yore, and we'll talk about, do you remember when Gus only streamed 3 times per week on 3 different days? Do you remember that? I remember that. I was there. I was there for that era of the Eras tour. Me though, well, look at him now. He's got 4 streams. Still on 3 days though. 4 on 3. It's gonna be Saturday mornings. We're doing Saturday mornings now, you guys. So there's gonna be a dedicated just chatting session for 90 minutes. That's right. A stream on Saturday morning. Starts tomorrow. Kind of a wild thing. 10 a.m. Pacific time, because it's when I can make work. Geez, I gotta get my whole morning routine in, get everything squared away for that, line it up, and then off we go. And we're gonna have the Saturday mornings. So we get to reach people across the puddle who are asleep right now, or at least the sensible ones are. Looking at you, fabulous humans. There's more than one of you.
I don't apologize to take care of my family.
Sorry, that's probably coming through hella loud.
Be a fool.
What? Aw, Gail, what? Thank you for the gifted. Oh, thanks, Gail. That is so cool. Gifting a sub, what a gem. Thank you. That means a heck of a lot. You guys, all the chat's going into one place so you guys can see. We got YouTube, we got Rumble, we got Twitch, and all goes right here. Thank you for the gifted. On Rumble, you guys, Rumble takes none of that stuff. Twitch takes 50% of your money, which is insane. I'm not monetized on Twitch for that, among other reasons. But I am monetized on Rumble. I could be monetized on both. Turns out they don't give a rip. But no. So yeah, the payment processor takes 3% of that, and then Rumble takes none. So thank you. It means an awful heckin' lot, Gail. I will steward it as well as I am able. And hopefully further whatever good comes from this project. Because the likes of you. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. I have to get to pouring something here because I can't not keep raising a class to you guys. We gotta get to this. Okay. Yeah, Saturday morning, tomorrow morning, you guys, just chatting for 90 minutes. It's gonna be short and sweet so we can catch all of our friends across the puddle who are asleep right now. And it's gonna be a dedicated just hangout session for everybody. It's not going to be scheduling talks or whatever it is, formal lectures. We're going to be getting to a semi-formal lecture here tonight. But yeah, that's not what Saturday mornings are going to be for. It's going to be a hangout session, just chatting, whatever. Get to catch up with those of you guys that I don't get to see terribly often at a different time, to catch those of you who are usually busy during stream time or asleep, as I said. So that's tomorrow. And then I will still have my Saturday evening streams. So the way that tomorrow looks for me is wake up, go through my morning routine, and then I've got stream, and then I end right on time, have to, and I'm held accountable to that because then we've got CNR. We've got a Cosa Nostra rendezvous right after stream, baby. Actually, as soon as stream concludes, I'll have a video upload that goes live, and then I go into CNR, and then right after that, then I've got evening stream. So Saturdays are going to be very busy for me, start to finish. So I'm still debating whether or not I want it to be a fasted day. Lose a little bit extra weight. I'm inclined to say yes. I'm inclined to say yes to that. I don't know. We're going to have to see how tomorrow goes. We'll experiment. But yes, tomorrow night, we're back to the pile, you guys. The pile, the all-important pile. Now, I believe we're actually going to be finishing the game tomorrow night. That is Dishonored, the definitive. We're going to be doing that. And if you guys haven't seen the pile, the pile, the pile, you guys, the pile. It's awfully good. It's awfully good. It's a metaphor or something. But it's gonna be great, and I hopefully you guys can make it that. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. And then the next stream after that will be Tuesday in it, and I'm gonna be playing Ark again. Yes, I am. I blame David. Yeah, the executive decision. Saw David's logo, and I was like, done. Ark. We're gonna try it. All right, now gotta pour a drink. Tonight, gang. Now, proper Gus talk. Proper components, and I don't get to have all three. We don't get to tonight. I don't have the logistics set up to do this tonight. And tonight is going to be something of a shorter stream because of the aforementioned still scrambling. No, I didn't mention that. Still scrambling to get a lot of stuff set up. So it's been a terribly busy week with the kickoff of the CNRs.
I always wanted to be a gangster.
Well, please. Oh, hey, on Twitch too. That's super exciting. Thank you, David. I appreciate it. What the heck? That's so cool. I take follows quite seriously. Quite seriously indeed. On each of the platforms. I don't know. You could have ran away. You could have been like, bollocks to this guy. I'm on one platform and that's one too many. Unfollow. Instead, you double down. Grateful. Glad to have you on the boats. It means an awful heckin' lot, you guys. All of you guys who have multiple tabs open, one for each platform, thank you. Thank you. Proper real Gus Talks, you guys. Proper real Gus Talks involve 3 components. We don't always get all 3, but we take what we can get. And first component of an ideal talk is good drink. Now, it doesn't need to be alcoholic, but by all means, let me know what it is you are having here in the chat to partake of element number 1 in our time together here. Marsh is like, water. Unless it's Gatorade, it could be that. So I'm going to be having the Jura 10. Big fan. I've actually had like the Jura, it's either 16 or 18. Didn't like it as much as the 10. Very strange in this case. You also get a little bit of bottle asthma. A little bit of bottle asthma for you. Let's hear it. Hang in. Did that come through? Did you hear it? Did you get a little bit of thum? It's a different thum than the kind the Dragonborn gets to utilize, but you know. And we take what we can get, as I said. Oh yeah, that's a good start. That's a good start. Woo! All right. We got our Jura 10. Big fan of our Jura 10. That's from the Isle of Jura. It's an island that's right next to Isla, and that's the distillery on Jura. I recently learned that there was another distillery opening up on Jura, and I was like, these guys got the name on lock, but you know, now they're not going to be exclusive. So yeah, I like it. I like the Jura 10. Glad to have it in. So yes, element number 1, good drink. Element number 2 is good cigar. And alas, I'm not partaking of a cigar here tonight. Again, logistics withhold such fun. But I won't be having that. But if you are having a cigar, cool, Godspeed. I'll live vicariously through you. Let me know. And then number 3, good company. Good company. And dear friends, this is where each week I come empty-handed and must needs lean entirely on you. All of mine weight. Component number 3, good company. And I'm grateful to each of you who've come furnishing such. I'm grateful to each of you who have sacrificed your time and your efforts to be here. All of you guys who could be off doing any old thing, any old where, or who are off doing any old thing, any old where, like Marsh at a freaking gym. I get to raise my first glass of the evening to you, lovely lot. The kind who would choose difficulty, who would opt in to discomfort, potentially. Don't even know what's going on tonight. And here you are anyways. And it means an awful heckin' lot, and it says a great deal about the caliber of person with which I'm surrounded. To you, dear friends. Cheers. I haven't had the Jura in a minute. Haven't had the Jura in a minute. It's doing funny things with the dinner that we just had. Hot Bride made these brilliant... I don't even know what the heck to call them. Burrito things that were... But it was like Italian sausage and ground turkey, but she cooked them up in like some sort of seasoning mixture stuff. We had grilled onions in there. We also had raw onions in there. We had a bunch of... we had like this salad thing with like street corn, and then like there was some salsa. It was a lot going on in there. So it's doing strange things with the palate of that. Also, the earlier stream times this time means dinner's at a weird time for us. If we do have dinner, we just like skipped it last night. But yeah, I don't know. Strange things. I don't think I like it more than just a clean palate, but here we are. I don't know. So again, let me know in the chat what it is you are partaking of. Water, Gatorade, tea, coffee, or if you've got some sort of booze or whatever it is, let me know what it is you got while I catch up on freaking chat, because I know that I missed some of you. I know that I did. I know it. I know it. Pal, thank you for the lurk. I appreciate you. Yeah, little Thaddeus. That's what I said. That's what I said. That's him. Back in my day. I love it, Retro. Any phrase that starts with back in my day is a good one. When computers were just getting invented, secret with mine own eyes, early IT support means IT support, you guys, turns out. We were alive back in the day. Yeah. When I invented the turn it off, turn it on method recently. Yeah, I did that. Excited for the Saturday crew to meet? Me too, Mel. Really looking forward to it. That is a stacked freaking crew. Lot of really interesting personalities in there, and I'm hyped. Turn the clocks ahead on Sunday. This Sunday? Oh, are we springing forward? Is that happening? Sunday? Huh. Oh yeah, and then the Aussies change it like a month later, right? They change it like either the last week of March or the first week of April, somewhere in there. Yeah, it's that weird time where I mess up everybody's schedules. It's gonna be ridiculous. There's David. What a gem. Appreciate you, David. Appreciate you. Don't forget the time springs forward. Oh my gosh, look at that. Wow. Mel and Retro on the same heckin' page. Look at you. Zacchaeus! Speaking of fabulous humans, it's good to see you, sir. Good to see you indeed. I hope that you're well. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Love longer days, but I hate losing the hour. Yeah, I know what's going on. I don't know. Time's an illusion. It's all messy for me, no matter what. Whether it's light or whether it's dark, has no bearing on the work that needs doing. So, well, take it in stride. Vitamin D deficiencies and all. Tea. Okay, Intra's got tea. Oh, Mel says Sam. Okay. Or unless you meant to what Gail said. Okay. Either one. Having a Melaleuca peach iced tea. What's a Melaleuca? You got what's Melaleuca? Nobody tell Cass that I'm not cool and I don't know what that is. That she's drinking. One of you guys tell me, okay? And then I'll pretend when we go back to Cass. I'll pretend I knew what she was talking about, and then I'm one of the cool kids in the cool kid club. And then I have a membership in said club, and then I'm a card-carrying member. Okay, but you guys have to tell me, all right? We're going to just hush. Secret between you and me and the internet. And then we'll revisit Cass, okay? That's crazy, Cass. Yeah, I love those. Yeah. Having creatine and L-glutamine. Oh, there it is. Yeah, that's right. Dudes out here getting stacked. Getting swolls. Marsh is getting big, y'all. He's getting like jacked. That's what we'll do. That's right. Okay. Tiny can of Coca-Cola. TM. Hashtag sponsored. Also a tiny ginger ale by Seagrams, owned by Coca-Cola. TM. Hashtag sponsored. Okay, a little ginger ale. Okay, it's like jet lag for a few weeks. Oh, I see. A good one. I should have tea, but don't feel well enough to make it. Okay. I'm sorry, you don't feel well. Helly! Oh, it's Helly. How you doing, sir? Good to see you, my friend. How the devil are you? Thank you for calling him out. Guts, I appreciate you. And Mel, let's double call him out. I like it. We love to see it. Oh, it's Whiskey. How you doing, sir? Cheers to you, indeed. Very good to have you, my friend. I hope that you're well. I hope that you've been so gosh darned good and that the move, everything's all settled down. I hope. It is to be hoped. Watching F1. Who's moving faster? Who's running faster? Those engines or mine flapping gums? Waiting for my daughter to make BLTs. Oh, taking care of me right now while my boyfriend is out. Okay, bet. That's very exciting, Cass. BLTs are freaking goated. What the heck? I don't know why. BLTs have no business being as good as they are. I mean, it's got bacon in it, so, that tracks. But, like, the texture of a BLT is just, it's something to behold. Unless you get, like, too thick of bacon, and you get, like, you bite down, you're like, ow, I broke a tooth. Oddly specific, I know, but go with me on this. My tomorrow is going to be interesting. What's tomorrow? I'll bite. I don't know what's happening, Allie. Tell me. What is it? Water? Oh, she out here drinking water. She drinking that water, you guys. That's crazy. Late but lurk. Thank you for the lurk, Val. I appreciate you, friendo. Yes, I do. Hat tips all around. So does the Uck. Couple weeks later. Okay. Yep, we're going to mess it up with everybody. I'm going to equally offend everybody. Everybody going to be upset. So glad someone else feels that way about time. It's ridiculous, am I right? It's just like, who cares? Sun's up, sun's down. Sun's out, guns out. But what if, and hear me out here, I wear a suit all the time and you never see the guns? Huh? What about that? Yeah, it's just work. I want to work, you guys. I want to work. The time makes no difference. The work needs doing. The time's a bunch of wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey stuff. That's true. Kodo! 4 more weeks before those upside-down people change things. That's right, the upside-down. The people in the upside-down, a.k.a. the UCK, a.k.a. the UK. Insane in the membrane. Ukraine. It's acronyms and letters, you guys. It's crazy. Kodo, it's good to see you. Come on. Melaleuca is the wellness store. Yeah, I knew that. Cass? Yeah, I love the wellness store. Yeah, I knew that. Gang, where were you? Gang, what is happening? You guys. I was counting on... Okay, all right, just straighten out your tie. Get it together. Yeah, Cass, I'm with you. I knew that. But you were explaining it for the benefit of other people who didn't know. That tracks. For people who don't follow, everybody who follows, we're on the card carrying members. That's true. We have the membership. and the receipts to prove it. So it was for the benefit of the people who haven't followed yet on Rumble, Twitch, and YouTube, because we're multi-streaming on all the platforms from 5 to 9 Pacific, because we don't do the 9 to 5, we do the 5 to 9. And then starting tomorrow morning, we stream from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. for the very first time ever on all of those platforms. So, yeah. It was for the benefit of them. And that's very kind of you, Cass. That's very, very thoughtful, very conscientious of you. I like that. A Hawaiian dance, the Melakaliki Maka. No, that's the wise way to say Merry Christmas to you, Mel. That's what you're thinking of. That's what you're thinking of. It's Oscar and Kimi. I'm a Kimi fan. I'm excited to see. Oh, this is F1. Okay. This is one of the youngest drivers have a good chance of podium. Oh, that's fun. That's super cool, Intra. I don't know much about the racing scene. I do not. I used to do drag, like quarter-mile type stuff. I used to do all when I build cars back in the day. Like, I used to care about all that stuff. And I happen to know the guy who still owns the land speed record. Or I knew him. He's probably dead by now because he was an old guy already at the time. But yeah, I knew the guy in past life who held the land speed record. That's cool. That's cool. So yeah, that's fun. I like it. Been hired by my aunt to try to get her garage hooked up with the Wi-Fi. Oh, that's what you're doing tomorrow? Oh my god, getting the Wi-Fi hooked up? That doesn't surprise me at all, Helly. You being a tech genius? That's nuts. Thumper! There's a dapper dang marine on the screen with a red tie contrasting against the black. Ooh. French kisses. Oh my gosh. Gang aren't the size of postage stamp. I'm not the size of a postage stamp. Have on my computer back in Georgia, not in Tennessee. Home switching. Crazy. All the home switching. We're not a postage stamp anymore, you guys. Very exciting. Chef's kisses gang. I appreciate saying it's very good to have you. Very good to have you. Hello. Hello, squirrel. Hello. Hello. I hope that you're well, my friend. I hope that you're well and that your eyes aren't going crazy from all the writing. It's an online store. Yeah. All natural products from cleaning to food and snacks and drinks. Yeah. Of course. Again, for the benefit of everybody else. That's what's going on. Don't you know the wellness store? Kodo is also calling out the people who haven't yet followed the channel because there's a lot of things they don't know, like how to party. They also do. I switched over everything household from there. Oh, okay. And it regulated my hormones. Yeah, better hormonal benefits, you guys. Lots of it's from the thing that you are all. Yeah. Mm-hmm. What is car? Well, it's short for carbine in a lot of instances. It's also short for automobile. That's what it is. That's what. Need to know if something I order today gets here tomorrow, or it's gonna be delayed. Bet I got you. That's it. Don't know this wellness store. Nah, but I do know the gingerbread man. That's because you know everybody, Helly. He probably hit you up for tech support. You're probably the reason he has Wi-Fi. I'm sure of it. Kiki! Hi, Kiki! Thank you for the lurk. I appreciate you so stinking much. Good to see you. Good to see you indeed. Also know the gingerbread man? Crazy. It's a small world. Small heckin' world. Absolutely nuts. Let me see here. I don't know the wellness store, but it's funny trolling Gus. Yeah, I don't understand, Kodo, what you mean, because yeah, it's all of the it's for the benefit of the people who aren't here. Yeah. That's what it is. That's what's going on. I hate the gumdrop buttons, not the gumdrop button. Not those, Cass. Not those. What do you think of those? I have new vitamins that are kind of like gumdrop buttons. Like, all vitamins are like gummies now. I'm like, this is just candy. Like, you'd have to hide these from children because they'd be like, oh, bet. And they would just like eat them all and then get sick. So, Ronnie! Hi, Ronnie! I hope you're well. Hello, happy weekend's eve. I hope that you're well. Saw somebody on a news thing like a month ago or something like that, and it sounded like you, and it like my ear, it was like your voice, and I'm like, Ronnie? I don't even remember the context anymore, But I remember like going, Ronnie? That's Ronnie's voice. Like, I know that voice. I've heard that voice many a time. It's a famous voice. I know that voice. Well, thought you ought to know. You're on the news somewhere. I don't know what you were doing on the news, friendo, but famous or something. Or something. I don't know. I love the gummy vitamins. It's like a treat. I know it, Cass. I'm saying you gotta hide them. Like, if we ever have children, they're gonna have to be hidden. Top shelf. Hide away. Like, the problem is I got a lot of like stuff that's within arm's reach of like anybody. Like a top shelf is a bit of a tough thing because I've got like a floor to ceiling shelving unit over here with all the booze and everything in addition to what's back here. It would be very difficult. I mean, I gotta lock the door. I could lock the room, sure, but like every time I step out, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. You're one of them crinkly brain sorts. You know what I mean. I leave you with work. Leave you with a work. Not a lurk, a work. Because he knows how much I enjoy work. He's a giver, this helly fella. A giver! Some things to do, and y'all, if y'all need me, just ping me. You mean if things break? Nah, I want you here no matter what. But, ow, my guy. It's crazy, is crazy. Okay. Gang, I would be remiss, I say, if I did not pass along some gratitude before we kick things off here to all the people who make the wheels on this particular bus go round. All the people who have sacrificed to give this thing a shot at a future. All of you guys who have tabs pulled up on Rumble, Twitch, YouTube, whatever. The Mafia Project and the humaning that we are trying to do here, I believe, is too important to put all of your eggs in one basket. So we have spread loaded to the 3 platforms. And yeah, my internet can handle that. It's pretty great. So thank you guys to everybody who is here, who is present, who's pulled up a tab, who's told a friend, and everybody who has poured a drink to join us for tonight's topic, and everybody who has supported this thing financially. All of you guys who, like Gail, support through Rumble, all of you guys on Coffee or Patreon, whatever the heck, I get to plan the future of this business because of this. And any good that comes from this project gets traced right back to the feet of you, lovely lot. So thank you. In particular to the public patrons, Aki, Dano, Duckling, Leanne, Goose, Kira, Abby, Tink, Helly, May, Karma, Pre, Retro, Rick, Ryan, Mouse, Trosky, Pell, CJ number 1, and Zin. And I'll also say, I also have a new person to add to that list, but I haven't yet asked them if it's okay to put them on the list. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't want public recognition. Some people are like, you keep me the hell off of that list. But just know that there's someone out there who very sneaky like should be hearing one of us. So there may be another name added to that list. I just gotta find out still. My schedule's been full. Haven't had a chance to ask them. But I'm gonna. And when I do, we'll see. Thank you to all of you who make this happen. It means an awful heckin' lot. An awful heckin' lot. And if you are looking, I actually just had somebody ask me the other day, okay guys, you've got these different platforms up. What's the best way to support? Bandwidth is a great one. I get paid a paycheck from Rumble literally just by concurrent viewership, just by you guys having a tab open. Like that is, and if you've got a tab open on Twitch too, obviously we move higher up on the recommendation. Like the video on Rumble, I mean you could do it on YouTube too. YouTube is more for archival purposes, but you can watch it on YouTube too. That counts toward watch time and eventually gets us monetized, so you know. I'm pushing out shorts every heckin' day this month. Yes, every day. So in case you're like, why are my notifications? Yes, we have either long form or shorts every stinking day going out right now. All over the place. On Rumble and on YouTube. Watch those. All that stuff's great. But perhaps the best way to support this project financially, that's through Rumble. Okay, and that's the Rumble Premium bidness. And so I'm going to throw that thing up here on the screen so you can see because that is financially, all of it goes to me, minus the 3% to the payment processors. Rumble takes 0. Twitch, again, takes 50% of your money. YouTube takes 40% of your money, which is crazy mad. Anyways, if you guys want a discount, on the annual thing, which is already 15% discounted, I'm going to throw a little QR code here up on the screen. And you'll give it a look, and then we'll kick things off, yeah? That's not the one I wanted at all. This whole project is funded by viewers like you, folks who have voted with their wallets and sacrificed to give this thing a shot at a future. If you're not already a member, you click that button to sign up. $99 a year for the discounted rate, or $9.99 a month if you don't want to go for the annual just yet. You get the entire experience ad-free, plus access to exclusive content not just on this channel, but on every channel on Rumble. It's also one of the best options to support this channel and my work. So if I've been a value add to your life, consider joining up today using that link below. Yeah, ridiculous. Unbelievable. One of these days, you guys, I'm going to learn how to be a real creator. Listen, I could click on the wrong link. I could push the wrong button. One of these days, I'm going to set up this stream deck. Yes, I have a stream deck. Just haven't set anything up yet. And then I'll have like a picture or something that I can't mess up as easily. Still, though, literacy would go a long ways toward clicking on the right things. Ridiculous. Thank you guys for being here. It means an awful lot. We're going to kick off the actual work because Kodo's right. We got to get to work. Get to work. We're going to be talking about something that is near and dear to my heart tonight, and something that I hope is beneficial to everybody here tonight. We're going to be talking about fear and anxiety, and in particular, the cure to them. I'm going to be talking about what the heck these things are, how they come about, and then what the heck to do with them. Tonight is going to be talking about courageousness. Tonight we're going to talk about courage. We're going to talk about bravery. Tonight is going to be a throwback to something.
As I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
Cass, aw, hey, thanks, Cass. The text wrapping is broken right now for the Rumble bot. I don't know why. It's not just me. It turns out it's everybody, and I'm like, hello, Rumble bot, what are you doing? It's called wrap text. Word wrap. My guys, that's crazy. Thank you, Cass, for following Rumble. I appreciate you. It means an awful heckin' lot. I aim to earn it. I aim to earn it. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, this is a throwback. This is something I've talked about many times over the years, and only one time formally. I'm going to be giving it another treatment here tonight because of the auspicious season that we are in, you guys. Just this week, we have, on Wednesday and tomorrow, kicked off the new term of CNRs, the Cosa Nostra Rendezvous, the smaller group hangout, get-together things that we do in the Mafia Discord, the hub of all that we get up to and the heart of this operation. This is where we get to train for humaning, something that once upon a time would have been absolutely ridiculous to say, because everybody did it as a matter of course. The world is your playground, more like the world was your gym. You just went out and you had to train. You had to interact with humans. Not so much now. So, the Mafia Discord is something that people opt into, links in the usual places, where we, with intentionality, with purpose, aim to interact with our fellow man, such that we get better at it. Because this is a hashtag skill issue. It is. Very many of us are not skilled communicators. We're not skilled negotiators. And that's not like something like inherently wrong with you. That's not like you're defective in some way. That's a skill issue. And I mean that in an encouraging sense. Because if it's something that's way beyond your scope and outside of your control, nothing to be done about it, well, there's no hope in that, is there? There is, however, a lot of hope in calling something a skill issue, because it means you can improve, because you can up your skill. You can up your game. You can bring more to the table through competence. And that competence leads to confidence. We've talked about this stuff before. So that is an encouragement to you, is no matter where you are at with this humaning thing, you can improve. So the people who have opted into hard mode, the people who have opted into community, I have a lot of respect for you, lovely lot, for you who've chosen this thing. It says, again, a great deal about the kind of person who would choose such a thing. When many don't, when most don't. You guys are the ones who will make a difference to save the world. If the world is to be saved, it will be because of your like. I'm going to be missing a bunch of chat, you guys. I'm going to be missing a bunch of chat. Yes, I am. For the purposes of this, I am going to be disabling raids. I don't know, some people are like, don't disable your raids. Why you keep doing this to me? It's because I'm going to be talking about some more seriousness, and I get derailed really easily, you guys. Real easily. So, okay, raids have been disabled on Twitch. Now I just need to go and disable them on Rumble. On Rumble. Live streaming. That's not what I wanted to do. That's where I changed the
As
thing.
far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
What? Is that Duckling? Was that Duckling's name? Duckling followed on Rumble? Thanks, Duckling! I think I was Duckling. Was that? Is that what that was? Is that what just happened there? Oh my gosh. It's crazy. Thank you. I appreciate it. Where the heck? I can't remember. It's so funny. I like... There it is. Okay. There, boom. Update. All right. Raids have been disabled. Raids have been disabled on Twitch and on YouTube so that we can get into this. And, you know, those of you who are here, we will face fewer distractions. I still distract quite easily, but I'm going to be missing a bunch of chat as I sort of hold forth. It will be a shorter lecture because that is my aim going into 2026 with any of the formal lectures, is for them to be shorter. I don't want anybody to have to hang out for 4 hours in order to hear the gist of something, okay? So I've tried to make it much more digestible. That is what I'm aiming at. Tonight, it's going to be shorter, okay? Okay, and then we'll see where the conversation goes from there once I get back to chat. So, are we settled? Are we in? Have we all gone to the bathroom? Do we got our drink of choice? I'm gonna be missing redeems too, by the way. So hold your points. I'm not gonna see them. They will be missed. So don't waste your points. Don't waste your channel points. I don't want to have to each Friday go and disable claims or redeems. So you'd appreciate it. I would appreciate you guys. We're gonna give it a shot. We're gonna give it a shot. Okay. Courage. But to talk about courage, again, we have to talk about anxiety. Okay, we have to talk about anxiety. What is anxiety? Well, I'm going to here tonight be using the terms anxiety and fear somewhat interchangeably. Okay, you guys will know the gist of what I'm after. I'm not going to go too far into the weeds. It's a bit of foreshadowing with definitions tonight, but I'll define things where I feel that it's important. I'll be a little bit loosey-goosey with anxiety and fear, though, because for our purposes, we're going to be facing the same thing. So, anxieties, fears, many of you guys have them. All humans have some, to some extent, to some degree. And you're like, not my grandpa. Okay. Let's listen and let's see. Let's see how grandpa stacks up. Let's see. I think you'd be interested to hear where this goes then. What do we do about anxieties? I've just talked about the beginning of the Cosa Nostra rendezvous, these get-togethers, and I have had no small number of people communicate to me, whether it's through Twitch chat, DMs, in a voice chat, in a voice call somewhere, something to the effect of, Gus, I don't think I can. Why not? Some sort of scheduling conflict. I think I'd be too scared. Of what? What might someone be scared of? Now, you guys don't have to, again, I can't see chat, but for one another's benefit or your own or whatever, you think about this, okay? You think about, of what? When someone says, Gus, I can't join a community group. I can't join a group of people who regularly get together and talk about life. What's the fear? What's holding them back? Someone who lives this, maybe it's you. Think about what specifically. Put words to it if you can. What, with as much specificity as possible, what gives? What do you fear will happen or not happen? Some of you, it's fear of rejection. Some of you, it's fear of embarrassment, perhaps. You say, I'll say the wrong thing, I'll stumble over my words. Maybe it's an appearance thing. Maybe you're like, ooh, I can't turn on a camera. I've had my looks made fun of before. I'm very self-conscious about this
I
thing.
work my whole life. I don't apologize.
Hey!
And I refused.
That's so exciting!
Dancing on the string held by all those big shots.
Cass getting that gifted from Gail. You now have a channel subscription, which means you get access to behind the paywall and all the rest.
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
Hey! Thank you for the follow. I appreciate you, Wanderer. I appreciate you very much indeed. Again, I take follows quite seriously. I aim to earn it. Aim to earn it. From the silly to the serious and all the stuff we get up to in between. I aim to earn them. Glad to have you guys in. But yeah, what are we afraid of when it comes to getting locked into something like a crew? Well, all manner of things. But yes, perhaps it's a physical thing. Maybe you've been made fun of for your appearance before. You're self-conscious about something. And you're afraid of, like a movie stereotype. You turn on your camera and everybody will go, hey, get a load of this one. Ah, look at the hair with the eye. And then everybody breaks into laughter and they point and they belly laugh like it's some sort of comic,
I work
right?
my whole life.
Maybe?
I don't apologize.
Well,
to take care of my family. And I refused to be a fool.
Retro,
Dancing on the string held by all those big shots.
thank you for the gifted, my friend. I appreciate it. Gang, that means that there's a gifted sub floating around on Rumble. You just have to say something on Rumble. It prioritizes the person who says something in chat. That's why Cass picked one up. At the end of the stream, it'll just randomly distribute them to whomever. But if you say something in Rumble chat, anything, literally just a letter, an emote, or whatever, it'll prioritize that person. So first person to say something in chat who doesn't already have a sub, you'll pick up that gifted from Sir Retro. Thank you, my friend. You're afraid, perhaps, of this humiliation of some kind. Maybe it's rejection. You've been rejected before, and you've risked love before, and you're afraid it won't be reciprocated. You're afraid this won't come back to you. You're afraid to put yourself out there because it will return you nothing. Okay? What if it's betrayal? You've risked before and you've been backstabbed before. It's not just you put out some love and it returned empty. It's you put out some love and you were taken advantage of in return for your love and your kindness and your consideration. Lots of things to be potentially fearful about, right? Lots of that. But how true to life are each of those fears? Are some of them perhaps hyperbolic? Are some of them perhaps comical representations in movies and shows and everything else? Of course they are. And yet they represent, perhaps not 100%, not accurately, not true to life precisely, but they represent a kind of fear or a genre of fear. And I want to talk to you guys about what it looks like practically for you to not have to deal with that anymore. For you to not live under this anymore. Yes, this week is a category. This week represents a category of fears that people face. The humaning kind, the peopling kind. A whole bunch of stuff that goes along with it. And to my mind, there are a few things scarier. Many folks out there, sure, you're afraid of sharks, or you're afraid of tigers, bears, oh my. Perhaps you're afraid of spiders, water, heights, certain textures. Whatever you've got a fear of. Peopling, this humaning business, it's certainly the most complex of those. Follow me on this. You say you're afraid of sharks. Why are you afraid of sharks? Well, because I get in the water and a shark eats me. I'll get very straightforward, right? Very direct. Why are you afraid of messing with baby bears? Again, mama bear gonna find you, mama bear gonna eat you. Okay? Very straightforward. You're afraid of heights. Why are you afraid of heights? Because if I fall from those heights, I will go splat. And I will either be injured or maimed or something, or I'll just straight up die. Again, quite straightforward. Quite direct. Humaning, though. Will you die if you're embarrassed? Oh, say things like, I'll die of embarrassment, but will you? No, so what do you mean? What do you mean? What is the heart of embarrassment, of humiliation like this? There's like social elements mixed into this, right? There's like a social status, there's the view of one's peers, coworkers, classmates, whatever. There's something much more vague, much less clear. There's no literal death mixed into this, not typically. Although you could be like, I've seen a bajillion serial killer documentaries. I know how this story ends. Stop watching so many serial killer documentaries, okay? I'm going to dispense a bit of advice here tonight based on clinical research, you guys, and like back and longitudinal studies. I'm going to demonstrate a lot and put forth some like things for you to consider that are factual, objective, and like clinically based. I'm going to put all that out there. But if you take nothing else away from tonight, if you forget all the rest of my counsel, perhaps actually stop watching so many serial killer documentaries. Knock it off. I don't know if you got some sort of fascination. Stop that. Stop that. Read a book. Crack a book, John. Who knows that reference? Anybody get that reference? I love that reference. It's a good one. Okay, just... Okay. How do we overcome anxieties? We'll get straight to this, okay? We're going to go right to the heart of it. You know what anxiety is. I don't need to get super granular about its metaphysical, psychochemical, this and that. I don't gotta. Many of you are anxious people, whether some of the time or a lot of the time, or for some of you, most of the time. No one's got to define for you what anxiety is. Clinical or otherwise, diagnosis with a name and a fancy title or otherwise. Many of you have many anxieties. So I'm not gonna dwell on this, okay? This is one of those things where it would have been a 4-hour talk if I had defined every single word, so we're gonna keep moving, okay? We're gonna keep it pushing. What do we do about anxiety? Many of you, perhaps most of you, will be familiar with what is axiomatic of clinical psychology. Psychotherapy, cognitive behavioral therapy, psychoanalytic therapy, all of these things, right? All the brain smoots people, all of them. The axiom of therapy, exposure therapy. Many of you are now familiar with this. Again, I would venture to say most of you are. Exposure therapy. What this means is in a clinical setting, it doesn't need to be like in a room with a reclined chair or whatever. It just means a controlled setting, okay? In a controlled setting with purpose-built guardrails and structure and pacing and all the rest. Something that's thought through, something that's thought out. You can do this in a very measured, controlled setting. But actually, the more important part of this is not saying, get into a doctor's chair and they can do this. This is actually representative of how we live our lives and overcome fears naturally. Exposure therapy. It means to expose yourself voluntarily. I'm going to say that word again because at risk of missing it, you risk missing the entire thing. You voluntarily expose yourself to what you're afraid of. Okay? So here's what this looks like in the typical psychoanalytic sense, okay? You have a therapist, sure, a psychologist, whomever, and you sit down with them and you say, I have an irrational fear, call it whatever you want, of the ocean. Oh, okay, the ocean, all right. Why? I don't know, the ocean's scary, and you start sweating, and you're like, oh, I don't like it, doc. Okay, cool. You don't like it. Hey, what that person will do, or the classic example that I've given is spiders. Either one will work with here. You don't like spiders, great. How do you deal with this? You say, I don't want to be afraid of spiders anymore. You gotta start there. I don't want to be afraid of the ocean anymore. I don't want to be afraid of insert fear here anymore. Have to start there. If you don't say those words, if you don't utter that magical combination of syllables, none of the rest of this matters. You must voluntarily opt in. I use that phrase a lot. You have to opt in to this process. If you don't, well, we'll get there. But what it looks like with spiders is they say, okay, great. We're going to work through this together. And you're like, I'm ready to be over this. I'm ready. No more fear of spiders. Okay, great. You now get a picture. Thank you, Mel. I appreciate it. Person says, all right, I'm terrified of spiders. The therapist or whomever is going to get a picture of a spider. Okay? It's going to be a little bit of a picture, little picture of a spider, and they're going to put it across the room from you. And you're like, I don't like that. Oh, okay, but you're doing great. And you're like, yeah, all right. How you feeling? You talk through it a little bit, okay? And then spider picture is on the other side of the room. And then at some time later, maybe this is the next session, maybe it's an hour later, maybe whatever, okay, something. Depends on the person, depends on the reasoning here, depends on reading the room and intuiting what's best. Then you move the picture of the spider a little bit closer. Oh, I don't like that. No, I don't like it one bit. Okay, but you're doing great. And then a little bit closer, and then a little bit closer, and then a little bit closer. And then you hold the picture of the spider. And it's just a picture of a spider. And you're like, yep, don't like that. No, I don't. I don't like that. Okay, well, you're doing great so far. And then they get a real spider. And maybe it's in a little, like, one of those little plastic aquarium type things with a little handle on the top, you know what I'm saying? And that's across the room. It's a real spider in there. Maybe it's a little garden spider or something like that, okay? And you're like, oh, nope, don't like that. Don't like it. You're doing great. All right, okay, yep, we're all right. Move it a little bit closer to you, and a little bit closer to you, and a little bit closer to you. And maybe however many some more sessions later, you hold the little terrarium thing of the spider. And you, well, I don't like it, but you're alive. Haven't keeled over dead yet. Okay? You could do the same thing with the ocean. It's, all right, you're afraid of the ocean. Well, let's start with other bodies of water. All right, there's the bathtub with water in it. You're doing fine. Yes, I'm doing okay with it. Okay, we're just going to size it up a little bit. Here's a pond. I'm doing okay with the pond. It's the ocean I don't like. And here's a smaller lake. And okay. And then there's the ocean. Here's pictures of the ocean. Here's video of some of the ocean, like the beach and so forth. And then you go to the beach and then you look at the beach from far off. And then next session, you get a little bit closer to the beach and you listen to the sounds and the salt on the air and the sights, the seagulls flying around or whatever. Okay. And then you get closer and closer down the beach until the water touches your feet, maybe, and then you wade out a little bit with a life preserver and all that. Exposure therapy. Bit by bit, you work your way out into what you're afraid of. But you have to opt in. Now, here's a fascinating thing, okay? Psychoanalysts had this wrong back in the day, back 100 years ago, okay? Back when behaviorists first dreamt up exposure therapy in its original form, okay? Their hypothesis was, their whole theory hinged on this. They thought, okay. We develop fears. Their straight up hypothesis of all of this whole field of inquiry into the human mind and the human experience was, we learn to be afraid. Okay? That was their starting position. We learn to be afraid. You're normal, and then something hurts or damages you somehow, and now you've learned to be afraid of it, right? Okay, this is a dog, right? You were okay, and then a dog bit you, and now you're afraid of dogs. Can that happen? Sure, of course it can. Lots of folks here have stories like that, right? Well, I didn't have a fear of squirrels, then I got bit by one, then I needed to get a rabies shot, I had a bad reaction to the rabies shot, and now I'm afraid of squirrels. Okay, sure. But their hypothesis was, this is everybody. This is all humans, the whole human experience, okay? Neuropharmacologically, they had it completely backwards. They had this whole thing exactly backwards, okay? You can learn some fears. Like I said, dog bites you, you're afraid of dogs now, okay? My little sister got bit by a dog, and for years, she was fearful around big dogs, okay? Because she got bit by a dog in kind of a bad way. So that's possible. But for the most part, and for most of us, this is what the psychoanalysts had backwards. It turns out instead that we unlearn terror. That is, what do I mean by that? You start out, when you're young, when you're born, afraid of everything. That's actually the way that it works for humans. You're afraid of everything. And this is why children, like infants and toddlers and all that, can't stand to be separated from their mothers. They're afraid of everything. What does an infant know? Nothing. What's the first thing they come to know? Typically, mom. Okay, and mom, if mom isn't immediately abusive and awful and scary and terrifying and bad for Bebe, Bebe's like, cool, this is all I know. Clings to what I know. Clings to the good, clings to the safe. Nothing else is good. Nothing else is safe. Mom alone is good. Mom alone is safe. Okay? Babies don't need to learn to be afraid of everything. Instead, they haven't yet learned how not to be afraid of things. I'm going to say that again. You're born afraid of everything. And you haven't yet learned how not to be afraid of things. We're going to put language to this, okay? Back in the day, when the behaviorists first came up with exposure therapy, they would expose someone to something they were afraid of, okay? And this is how this worked. Their process. They then had them go through form a series of relaxation exercises. All right, that's what they had them do. Breathing exercises and so forth. It's like count backwards from 10, tactical breathing type stuff. Long, deep breath, hold your breath, and all. Like they went through all of this, okay? And they thought they could tie the two together and this would help with something else, all right? This would, in their mind, counteract the exposure to what they were afraid of, and it would sort of neutral them out, right? That was their whole hypothesis. But then they learned that actually, based on the numbers they did, because there were controls, right? In science, you do controls, you do placebos, you do all this blind, double blind, and all that jazz so as to not bias the results. You guys understand the scientific process. And they duplicated this a bunch, and they found out that actually the relaxation exercises were entirely unnecessary, and that the treatment was just as successful without it. It was like exactly the same. Like it mattered zero, no statistical significant difference at all if you had like the breathing exercises in there. The benefits came from the exposure. Hooray for breathing exercises. They had no bearing. The takeaway from all of this was that people who undergo exposure therapy do not become less afraid of whatever they're afraid of by neutraling out or whatever it is and changing your feelings around that thing, okay? It's they learn that they are capable of tolerating that fear. You won't die of it. You will yet live. You will yet survive being in proximity to a spider, being in proximity to the ocean, even getting wet from the ocean, having a spider perhaps in your hands, okay? And what's the word that we have for tolerating one's fears? For acting in the face of fears in spite of them? Courage. Courage. It's one of the traits that the Marine Corps teaches each of its people. It says, these are the traits that we're going to instill in you, and one of them is courage. To act in the face of danger, to act in the face of something difficult, regardless of your fears, despite your fears. Not, you're not afraid, and then you act. It's, you may have an apprehension, you may have reservations, you may have anxieties, you may have phobias. You act anyways. That's courage. Okay? Put another way, people who undergo exposure therapy learn to be brave. And I'm going to use those two terms somewhat interchangeably here, okay? Courage, let's get a proper definitions here because you guys know I'm a big fan. Courage is virtue. Follow me on this. Courage is virtue when the rubber meets the proverbial road. All right? Courage decides, your level of it decides whether or not you'll be able to practice, incidentally, any of the other virtues when things get real. Now, what do I mean by other virtues? There's the classical, this is like Aristotelian stuff, okay? There's the classical or cardinal virtues, the term cardinal virtues, put forth in Plato's Republic and Aristotle's Nicomachean Ethics, okay? Cardinal comes from the Latin, word for hinge. Like a hinge, like a door hinge, okay? That's what it means. And these virtues are called cardinal because they're pivotal. Everything else pivots on them. Everything else hinges on them, okay? All other actions in our lives hinge, cardinal, on how we handle these themes, all right? The cardinal virtues as laid out there, incidentally. There's prudence, is the first one, okay? That means wisdom. Incidentally, wisdom, skill in navigating circumstances, choosing how to behave in an appropriate manner for the circumstance. That's prudent. Then there was temperance. That's self-control. This was a term that was co-opted during like prohibition and everything else, like the teetotaling sort of idea. That's not what temperance means. Temperance means self-control. And the definition to that was basically going just far enough and no further with anything. It can be with alcohol. You drink enough and then you're like, all right, that's enough for me. Going too far would be, you would, be out of temperance with this. You got to just far enough sort of thing. Then there was fortitude, or guts, we might say. Okay, this is acting in the face of your fears in a well, we'll get to this, of course. And justice, actual justice, and the execution of it. If you don't have courage, this guts, if you don't have this, you cannot practice any of the other virtues in life. If you want to stand up against injustice, for instance, you witness someone getting mugged and you want to help them. You've seen Superman, you've seen superhero movies, right? Okay. And you want to help, you want to intervene, you want to jump in, but you have no courage, you will not help them. Courage is a prerequisite to exercising or in acting to uphold justice, to bring about justice. Okay. The rest of them, they hinge on this because there might be social circumstances where someone says, perhaps we stick with the alcohol example for temperance, right? And you go just far enough and no further. What if your friends are like, oh, just one more? This will take a kind of social courage, will it not? A social fortitude to say no in that gray, muddy area about socializing and reputation and all the rest of it. Courage is a prerequisite to act in the face of what others think. Do what's right, regardless of what peer pressure might have you try otherwise. Okay? I'm going to keep it moving here because I promised I was going to keep all of this somewhat short. So there's a Marine axiom that I was taught and that every other Marine here and elsewhere is familiar with, and I have said on the channel many times, okay? And I have to swear because that's how the Marines teach it. So you watch your profanity. I know. Okay. When shit hits the fan, you will not rise to the occasion. You will, instead, fall back on your training. Do you see the mental picture here? Okay? You do not rise, you fall. You don't step up, you step back. Okay? The way this works is everybody has seen the movies where it's, wow, I didn't know I had it in me. Some circumstance arises and there's danger, and then something wells up within you, right? And you're like, no, something must be done. And then that you intervene and you save the day. Nope. Is it possible? Sure, it's possible. But that's not what the statistics bear out. That's not what the numbers say at all. That's not what all data that we have on all mankind in every country since we started keeping records of anything says. That's not how it works. Is it theoretically possible? Sure. Are there outliers? There are in all subsets of data. But that is not what most will do. The overwhelming majority of the time, you will not rise to the occasion. Many people here think themselves brave. You know what? If I saw so-and-so being attacked, I would step in. Have you trained to step in? Have you practiced for that moment? You see someone beating up somebody in a dark alley, right? The origin stories of superheroes and all the rest, right? Have you trained to fight? What if they got a knife? Have you trained for dealing with somebody with a knife? What if they've got a gun? Do you carry? Do you train with your firearm? Are you practiced in intervening? If not, you won't. You will not rise to the occasion. You will fall back on whatever you've trained. And if you haven't trained in anything, you freeze. I'm not going to go into it tonight, but another time I'll go through formally Cooper's colors, and this includes shock. If you are not formally equipped, if you are not prepared by repetition, by training, you go into shock. You just shut down. It makes me crazy. I've told this before. It has been a while since I've talked about it though, okay? So I'm gonna upset some people. Just by the nature of these talks is there's always the risk of upsetting some people. I know you guys got different backgrounds and experiences and stuff, but this is not to be wanton or hurtful. This is to edify and to build you guys up. This is to empower you and encourage you. Know that that's what my words are purposed with, and if you stick with me here, they will be for your benefit. Okay? Do it even though it's hard. Stay with me. I worked with battered women back when I was in college. I worked with several programs that took care of women who were in violent circumstances, okay? Domestic violence cases, DV cases, domestic abuse, different language might be tossed around, okay? But battered women shelters and all sorts of programs to help women who were in abused circumstances, okay? I worked with an unbelievable number of rape victims and sexual assault victims and stuff while I was in university because I was working with a criminal law program, and I was also a Marine, and I was also working with police and sheriff's departments, okay? Because my role in the Marine Corps was I was a domestic counterterrorism expert. I would teach police departments and militaries how to deal with domestic counterterrorism type stuff. So like I had a lot of overlap with policing, domestic type stuff, okay? Excuse me, a lot of overlap. And it happens, I volunteered, I did charity work with a bunch of these women's programs, all right? And it shocked me at first how the first time I heard this, I was shocked. The 30th time I heard this, I was livid. Ladies, the amount of women that I heard say, I just froze. And what'd they do while they were being assaulted? They went, this can't be happening. 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 Why can't it? Because all of those programs that I was a part of, all of them, all the university had separate programs about this for you ladies out there. All of them taught the statistics. It's like 3 in 5 women of some kind will face a sexual, like unwanted, some form, some degree of sexual advance of some kind in their life. 3 in 5 or something. Okay, the numbers changed, of course, but like it's a big number. And that's to tell people to wake up. Hey, pay attention, keep your head on a swivel, care. And yet 100% of the women who had been victimized to some degree, all of them said, this can't be happening. You know the statistics. What do you mean this can't be happening? Well, not to me. Oh, you think you're special. You think those statistics are for other women. Oh, and this goes for men too. Men are abused as well. It's just lower rates and certainly lower reporting rates. No guy wants to be the one who goes somewhere and says, yeah, I'm being physically abused by anybody. Okay, so the reporting rates for men are much lower than the reality, but this goes both ways, okay? Anybody who has faced any kind of abuse, physical abuse, in particular sexual abuse, you're told the stats, and then you ignore the stats. Because you say, it's gonna happen to someone else. 3 in 5? Huh, good thing I'm the 2 in 5. 3 and 5 will deal with this. That sucks for those 3 and 5. Whew, imagine though, huh? Heart goes out to them. Raise a glass to those poor ladies out there. Oh, I can't even imagine that happening to me. So they went into shock. Can't be me. Can't be me. And yet, everybody fancies themselves the person who says, it couldn't happen to me. I would, there it is. I would rise to the occasion. I would step up. I would fight back. I would gouge his eyes out. I would kick him in the nuts. I would rip off his balls and feed them to him. Have you trained to do that? Ever? Have you trained to do that thing you just described? No? Then you won't. Even if you do train, there's a chance you won't. Depends on how much you train. Depends on the repetition. Depends on the seriousness. Depends on the accuracy. It depends on an awful heckin' lot. But the question is, have you trained? And if you haven't trained, you will not rise to the occasion, as 100% of these women found out. This is not some pithy thing that the Marine Corps teaches for no reason. This is not just for funsies. It's not just a play on words. Rise to the occasion, fall back on your... Nah, it's not just that. It's what you are trained to do is what you will do, okay? Now, in the Marines, this is like tap, rack, bang, okay? Your rifle jams, back in the day, they used to teach tap, rack, bang, all right? You go click, you pull the trigger, it doesn't shoot. There's a jam of some kind. There's a misfire or a jam of some kind, okay? And so what they teach you constantly, incessantly, through your entire Marine Corps career, from boot camp onwards, is something called tap, rack, bang. Now, they don't do the tap anymore, but basically you hit the bottom of your magazine, okay? Bottom of your magazine on M4 or whatever, and you go clack, and then you rack the bolt back, you pull back the bolt, which should eject whatever the heck is in there, whatever stoppage is in there, and then it will re-rack a new round, and then bang means resume firing, okay? Tap, rack, bang. It's really simple. Nowadays, they don't say tap because the magazines have changed some in any case, but there used to be these aluminum lips on the magazines, and you could bend them anyway. So they stopped doing the tap thing, all right? This is rack, bang. Many cases. It's rack the round back, try to fire again. Doesn't work, rack again, and fire again. It's like, okay, now you got to check. Maybe if it misfires 3 times in a row, something's gone wrong. You have all these procedures. But you do all of that in your sleep. Because they're constantly hitting you with it. Constantly. Which means in the heat of combat, when rounds are coming down range toward you, and you are laying down fire against an enemy, against an adversary of some kind, you don't have time to consider, I wonder what's happening with my thing here. That's odd. You ain't got time for that. And your little reptile brain, which is where your brain goes when it's fight or flight. You guys have heard this. When adrenaline is pumping through your veins, you're not sitting there thinking rationally and this, that, step, and the other. You're thinking muscle memory. Your body will do what you have trained it to do. If you haven't trained it to do anything, you will do nothing. That's what shock is. You seize up. People can actually die of shock. Like, you literally just go into shock, your organs just shut down. Because you've never been in a spot like this before, and your organs forget to stop working. Shock is deadly. But people are like, won't be me. Won't be me. Tap, rack, bang. Click. Nothing happens. You rack it back without thinking about it. You fall back on your training. This doesn't just apply to infantrymen. It applies to all of us. That's why, of course, I bring it up here tonight. The effect of learning courageousness is that one develops this muscle memory, and that actions that hinge, back to our virtues here, that hinge on this courage will become second nature. You won't have to think about helping that person who's being mugged. It will become a knee-jerk reaction for you. I want to develop this because some of you are sitting there thinking to yourselves, I can't see chat, but I already know some of you are either typing it out or thinking it. Gus, this isn't the military. Not everything is the military. Plus, Gus, you started by talking about like getting into community. You started by talking about jumping into a voice call, turning on a camera with stranger dangers. Gus, you talked very different. Spiders, the ocean. Now we're in combat. Now we're talking about rape victims. What is happening here, Gus? Tie it all together. Turn a corner. When you're a little kid, you're afraid of absolutely everything. That's what the research has borne out. No matter who you are, no matter where in the world you're born, no matter what. When you're an infant, you're scared of absolutely everything. And then you are not in a clinical setting with a psychoanalyst sitting there with dates and timetables and everything else and breathing exercises and, none of that stuff. But little by little, organically, naturally, you are exposed to different things. First, mom sets you down. And you yell and scream and cry and she picks you back up, but she's gonna put you back down again. And over the course of this repetition of you being, gasp, on the ground, in the crib, on the mat, on the changing table, whatever it is, you not dying of it will sink in. This is not a life-ending circumstance that I have found myself in, to not be in mother's arms. Perhaps, circumstances change, logistics things change in your little world. You change toys, you lose a toy, you lose a this, you get a different car seat. And when it turns out that none of these things kill you, your fear, you're going to be hurt, maimed, whatever, you go, oh, okay. I don't need to worry about that anymore. I don't need to cry about this anymore. This is not the end of the world. Maybe you see a dog for the first time and you're like, oh my gosh, it's a scary monster, and you're afraid because you don't know what it is. It's the unknown that you're afraid of. And then the dog is nice to you and fun to touch and fuzzy and he's a good boy. He's the goodest boy. Don't need to be afraid. The unknown is now known to you. What do you know about it? What do you now know about the dog that you didn't before? It isn't trying to eat you. The dog is fluffy and fun and kind, and don't pull his tail. Don't pull on his tail. He doesn't like that. It hurts him. All of this is from the parents, teaching the child how to navigate life. Now, here's the crux, okay? Here's the crux of all of this. I said before, stop watching serial killer documentaries, but also take away this too, okay? If you're going to do two things, take that and this. The things that you have anxiety around don't become less dangerous. You become braver. That's absolutely critical. When you're a little kid, you have no bravery, you have no courage. You're afraid of everything because you've never dealt with anything competently. So everything could be your end. Everything could be a source of misery and pain and awful. Then you try things. You're forced to try things. First day of school. First time riding a bike, right? All these things. And it's, that didn't kill me. Did riding a bike become less dangerous? Your fear when you first started is you're going to fall over and it could hurt, right? Does that ever stop? Genuine question. That's not a rhetorical question. When you're first told you're going to ride a bike, what if I fall? On pavement. Yeah, it's gonna suck, isn't it? Skin up your knee, right? Bang up your elbow, hurt your shoulder, skin up a wrist, right? And you're gonna cry. Does pavement stop hurting you guys when you fall on it? Real question. Sure, you're going 1 mile an hour when you're a little kid and you're tyke and you're wobbly on your first bike, and falling over is not the end of the world. But actually, as you grow and get higher up off the ground, falling can hurt more. Falling can be more hazardous to you. Because also, you're not made of Play-Doh anymore, like little kids are. Little kids don't seem to understand their superpower of nothing maims them quite like it would an adult. They bounce, Parents who are like, oh, my precious baby. Every parent, I'm not a parent, but every parent tells me this. Every parent goes, oh my gosh, with my first kid, I was so paranoid of every single stinking thing. I'm like, this is going to kill them, and this is going to kill them, and oh my gosh, I have to protect them from the sharp corners and everything else. And they're like, second kid came around, they're like, oh no, you're going to be fine. Yeah, no, I don't need to worry about 90% of those things. And then third kid, you're like, oh, it's actually, turns out I was wrong. It's 100% of things I don't need to worry about. The kid's made of plastic or rubber or pick or whatever. They bounce. They hit that sharp corner that I was super afraid of, and they laughed about it. Like, it turns out kids are invincible, sort of deal. Okay? So, don't need to be so worried about that. In other words, your fears about this thing dying in your arms were put up against the world. You got reps in with it. You got exposure therapy to it. You brought the kid face to face with all these dangers. Kid didn't die. And the consequence is you became braver. Is the ocean dangerous, you guys? You bet. Ocean is crazy dangerous. Ocean is very scary. Very scary indeed. Does the ocean become less dangerous if you don't have a fear of it? Nope. People who have the most experience with the sea, sailors and the like, divers out there, coasties, right? Coast Guard out there, everybody else who deals with the high seas in some form or fashion will have a healthy respect of the ocean, will they not? Let's say, I gotta check all my equipment, I gotta check my tanks, I gotta check this, I gotta check that. Why? Because she's unforgiving. I need to be mindful, I gotta be on my toes. The ocean didn't become less dangerous, you became braver. Now, knowledge, incidentally, knowledge is not the answer here. Knowledge is not the end of this. Now, I'm all for reading. I obviously encourage it across the board. I do an absolute, unbelievable ton of reading myself about all kinds of things. But knowledge itself is not the solution here, okay? It's not the answer. Not by itself, not in a vacuum. Say you, again, we'll go back to the fear of spiders, because that seems to be a fairly common thing with a lot of folks, okay? Fear of spiders. So you say, I don't want to be afraid of spiders anymore. I'm going to read books about spiders. I'm going to learn about spiders. This is another hypothesis that has existed for forever. It's just a knowledge gap. You need to learn that spiders are what? You might say, well, the daddy long-legged spider, turns out it's harmless. It's not the end of the world. You know, there's a whole Mythbusters episode about it, etc., etc. Okay. Sure, you can learn about one spider. But what if you start doing a deep dive on spiders? Are you going to find that spiders aren't dangerous? Is that what you're going to find? If you do a study, if you're here somewhere living in the world right now, hearing my words, and you're like, I'm going to do an inquiry into Australian spiders and the diversity thereof, are you going to find that spiders aren't worth being scared of? Is that what you're going to find? You're going to find, turns out I've been wrong my entire life. Spiders are completely harmless. And there's nothing terrifying or scary or worrisome about them at all. Is that what you're going to find? If you do an in-depth study of the spiders of the world, are you going to find out that they're harmless? No. In fact, quite the opposite. You're going to find out, holy crap, there's spiders that bite you and your leg falls off? What? I'm sorry, there's a spider that bites you and what happens to your, huh? It's called priapism. There's a whole bunch of, you're gonna find a whole bunch of crazy things. Is that gonna make you not afraid of spiders? Nar. Nar. We're gonna stick with our Australian friends here. Friggin' nar. Okay? Nar. Knowledge alone isn't it. You need to become brave. Spiders don't stop being a threat. Spiders don't stop being dangerous. You become resilient. You get guts. You develop fortitude. You develop courage. So it is with all of life. All of life. And here we bring everything full circle. We wrap it all up in a pretty bow for you. What are your fears? What out there are you afraid of? Obscure, ethereal, new, some crazy, like, something odd, something you can't put your finger on, or is it something very concrete? Sharks, spiders, heights. You know, what do you have? Some driving. What are your fears? You don't got to share them here in chat. You think about them. What are you afraid of? Full circle. If it's humaning, if it's interacting with stranger dangers here on the internet, if it's interacting with people during something like the Cosa Nostra rendezvous for 90 minutes once a week, try to put words to what it is you're afraid of. You cannot go wrong if you try to put this down on paper. Try to type it up in a Word doc or a notepad or whatever. Try to put words. You don't need to get into like insane specificity. You don't have to do any of that stuff, okay? Don't drive yourself crazy. Again, knowledge isn't going to be the solution here. So having exact wording isn't going to be make or break here, all right? But I do want you to think about, what are you afraid of? With some degree of specificity. I'm afraid of heights because if I fall, I'll go splat. I don't want to go splat. Okay. I'm afraid of failure. I'm afraid of rejection. I'm afraid of romantic rejection. Big one. That's a big one. Yeah, I got you. I gave a lecture last year talking about competence leading to confidence. This is an iteration of that. Competence means you've done it and you're capable. Ask a girl out. What's your fear? That she's gonna, as I said, comically laugh in your face, right? Mock you and other people will join in, something like that. Maybe word will spread. Look at the loser. He asked out so-and-so and she rejected him. Ha ha ha, what a nerd. All right, sure. There's a fear for you. Is it completely without merit? Is it completely unfounded? No. Social status means an awful lot, especially when you're young. Social status can mean a lot at any point in your life. But also, nobody wants to be embarrassed. Nobody wants to be humiliated. Nobody wants to feel like that. Nobody wants to hurt that way. Nobody wants to have their essence demeaned like that. No one wants to be in that position. Nobody. I get that. So what was my solution then? Spoiler, it's the same solution as now. You need to, of your own volition, opt in to reps. I left out a critical detail here tonight. A critical detail about all of this. Opting in is the key. Everything else hinges on it. None of the rest of this exposure therapy stuff works, by the way, without it. None of it. If you don't opt in. If you have a well-meaning friend, a good, well-intentioned parent, a community member, somebody who genuinely cares for you or whatever it is, they actually mean well, and they're like, you know what? I'm sick of friendo here having a fear of spiders. I'm not about it. Now we're gonna get them over their fear of spiders, right? We're gonna gather up a bunch of Australian spiders that are actually harmless. It's fine. We're not gonna get the venomous ones, okay? We're gonna get scary, but overall pretty tame little thing of Australian spiders, and we're gonna sneak up on her, and we're gonna dump the thing of spiders on her head, and she's gonna get over her fear of spiders. No. Now her fear is going to be an insane phobia for which she will need therapy. And new friends, okay? So, well-meaning or not, this is not the answer. This cannot be foisted upon you by someone else, by some externality. You have to choose it. You have to say, I walk in of my own volition. I say yes to this circumstance. I will do this. I will, as I described earlier, get closer and closer to the spider until I am comfortable enough holding a spider in my hands. Don't mess with venomous spiders, even if you're brave and all that. There's no need. What are you trying to be, Spider-Man? Stop that, okay? Don't. But you're holding a tarantula, otherwise harmless tarantula in your hand. You can do that. But only you can do that. This is absolutely critical. Dear God, don't miss this. This is the reason that I abuse the phrase personal responsibility. It's one of my stream tags. I'm pretty sure it's one of my stream tags. Personal responsibility. No one can do this for you. I don't mean to sound patronizing and like slow down my words and hammer them over and over again. I know that there are plenty of people who will hear this and go, this is good advice for someone else. This is good advice for the 3 out of 5. Fortunately, I'm the 2 out of 5, and I'll rise to the occasion. This is for all of us, me included. You have to choose it. No one can choose it for you. You have to opt in. You have to wade into the difficulty. You have to face the discomfort. You have to face the freaking spider. You have to face the heights. You have to face the social awkwardness. You have to face rejection. You have to say, oh, this sucks. But I'm doing it. Okay. Let's go. Come on, wake up. We're gonna do it. Today's the day. Only you can. And if you still have fears or anxieties of any kind, of any stripe, it is because you have not yet, hopefully I say yet, I am an eternal optimist after all, you have not yet opted in to facing it. Now, here's another word of encouragement, all right? Some of you are out there thinking, there are a lot of things to be potentially afraid of in the world, Gus. Now, I don't really deal with the spider thing because I live in wherever, and there aren't really spiders here, so it's not really on my radar, and I'm not really looking to categorize or classify every single thing that one could be afraid of because, crack open that book, there are a lot of things out there that I could be afraid of and scared of, and I don't know, Gus, I'm not a fan, right? Okay, great. The thing is, bravery scales. Bravery is cumulative. Courage is cumulative. Your training is cumulative. If you train, that is, in an exposure therapy sort of way, you opt into the difficulty, right? You go to Marine Corps boot camp, you opt in to being yelled and screamed at. None of it works. You don't become a Marine if you don't opt into this. No one can force you. You have to say, yeah, I will submit myself to this. And I will become strong as a result. Yeah, you will, if you opt in. If someone says, you're going to go through this now. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're either going to malinger your way out of it, you're going to try and get out of the thing. You do not rise to the occasion. You join, you submit yourself to the tutelage of discomfort, and you grow. Great. That experience of having done something difficult that you were maybe uncertain about. You were unsure if you'd be able to do it. You're like, I don't know if I can or not. Oh, geez, I just don't know. That not knowing is critical. Once you do know, I don't know if I can make it Marine Corps boot camp. What happens when you graduate? Now you do. Now you did. There's F around and find out. You F'd around and you found out. And the answer is, you can. You take that I can with you wherever you go. Forever. And depending on what you did, that's kind of a big deal. I went to Marine Corps boot camp, and I came out wearing the Eagle Globe and Anchor with the title Marine. Well, that carries an awful lot of weight in a lot of different areas, too, of discomfort and toughness, and there's a lot. That's tough. That's okay. That carries over. Now when someone says, hey, Gus, you want to jump off of this 35-foot tower into this pool? One, we did that in boot camp already, so that was specifically addressed. They take care of water and heights and all this. They do all kinds of crazy stuff, okay? Nope, not worried about that. You need to jump out of this plane? I've done something like that before. What about Okay, you're gonna meet the in-laws, meet the potential in-laws, meet the girlfriend's parents, meet the boyfriend's parents, meet the whomever's parents, right? You're like, oh, geez. You're like, man, I had a drill instructor who yelled and screamed at me about just anything, literally anything. I once got absolutely smoke checked for 45 minutes, like frickin' for 45 minutes because I missed a hair while shaving, right? I'm on the quarterdeck pushing for 45 minutes straight because I missed a hair and I didn't pass the inspection at the end of the day. I'm not worried about what your dad's gonna say. I'm not worried about it. I've kind of been through it. You see what I mean? There are 1,000 different adjacent difficulties to being a Marine that now I don't need to worry about anymore. I don't need to worry about any of that stuff. I've dealt with something like it before. I've dealt with an analog before, a stand-in before. And none of those things will physically or mentally, whatever, be hold-ups. There won't be hang-ups for me anymore. I've done this. But what if it's not related? You might still be sitting there saying, Gus, I've never done any of those things with heights. Yeah, I did this really difficult thing over here, though. Okay. So you have an I can under your belt. Is that right? You have a yes, I did it under your belt. Good for you. Okay. That is what's cumulative. What you need is evidences for yourself, not for anybody else. Nobody cares. I mean, if you need certain jobs and stuff like that, maybe they'll care. Marines certainly care if you can do all these things. But for your own benefit, you go nowhere unless you have evidence for you. So those of you who are perennially anxious about everything, you're scared of the world and every single thing in it. My question for you is, if you were to sit down, I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this. If you were to sit down, put pen to paper, put keys onto your notepad or whatever it is, right? And say, how many yes I cans do you have under your belt? How many wins do you have in your hip pocket? How much evidence do you have for you? So when you get that voice saying you can't do this, what evidence do you have to refute that voice? What evidence do you have to go, I got this?
I work my whole life. I don't apologize.
Trusty, of course, the troublemaker.
I refuse to be a fool. Dancing on the string held by all those big shots.
Troublemaker. Thank you, my friend. I am grateful as heck for you. 5 more gifted subs, you guys. Say something on Rumble if you haven't. Trotsky, it's good to see you, my friend. I'm not seeing chat right now, as I'm sort of holding forth with all of this, but all of you who haven't yet said anything on Rumble, so you don't have a sub picked up, just drop your favorite emote from the lineup on there. You don't have to do anything. The emotes are free to use on Rumble. I curated the list for you. Drop your favorite one. Pick up one of those gifteds from Trotsky. Thank you, my friend. It means an awful heckin' lot. We call out Trotsky when we see him. I don't know if that already happened. Whatever. Still calling him out. Still calling him out. If you are a ball of anxiety in your life, I have basically no doubt that your list of I can is a short one. That your list for you, that you could bring as evidence against you, is a short list. Gus, I've never rock climbed before. I have a legitimate fear of rock climbing. Cool, but you ran away from your fear of test taking. You ran away from your fear of relationship rejection. You ran away from your fear of discomfort. You ran away from your fear of commitment. You ran away from your fear of... You ran away. Rock climbing's not unique. You've developed a habit, and not a good one. You need wins. This is why, incidentally, some people end up fearful of everything. It's because they had a really shitty upbringing where all of the instances where the kid should have been safe from whatever, should have been fine, should have been fairly innocuous, should have been pretty anticlimactic, should have been nothing to write home about, should have been just any old occasion, any other day. The parents were neglectful or actively abusive, actively harmful, or siblings or circumstances or caregivers of some kind, right? And the kid learns to fear, or not, sorry, remains in fear for all these unknowns. Because now that they've become known, they go, oh, what's this over here? And they get swatted or something like that. And the kid's like, oh, okay, so that's bad. Okay. And this is bad, and this is bad, and everything's bad. And everything leads to pain. Now, there's really good, like, tricks here. That's why spanking has so much, like, clinical evidence to back up its efficacy, by the way. That's the whole, like, kid is reaching for a hot stove sort of deal. And you spank the kid. Why? Because spanking doesn't lead to long-term harm. There's all sorts of people out there that are like, I was spanked and now I'm traumatized and I have trust issues. Spanking was the lesser of two evils. Spanking was to teach you, no, that actually is harmful. Don't put your hand on a hot burner because it will cause permanent, probably, permanent harm. A spanking is to connect you mentally to, no, that is bad. Don't do that. Hey, that's can I pet that dog? That is a bear. Can I pet that dog? Perhaps it would be appropriate to spank that child, to make a mental connection. As cute as that video is, can I pet that dog? That's not a dog. And you, child, who doesn't know anything about the world, needs to make that connection. This is not one we pet. This is not something we play with. So yoinking the child away, probably a good thing. It's a mental stand-in, so the child doesn't have to develop an actual fear of bears by going through, what is that movie, The Revenant? Don't be revenanted. You don't need to be revenanted to learn a fear of bears, okay? To learn a healthy respect for bears. Some people got handed loss after loss after loss after loss. And I talked about this during the masculinity series last year, incidentally. Young men in particular, teenage, adolescent boys becoming men, need to be able to answer the question in the affirmative. Do I have what it takes to insert something difficult here? You must be able to answer that question in the affirmative, or you will never become a man. You will never be accepted by the tribe of men until you can answer that question in the affirmative. I now broaden this to everybody. Unless you can get some wins under your belt, and specifically wins that you have opted into, that you have said, here's something difficult, and I'm choosing to do it anyways. Here's something potentially uncomfortable, and I'm choosing to do it anyways. Here's a minor fear of mine, and I choose to face it anyways. Unless you start to accumulate those, you will remain fearful of everything. But, just as I said from the outset, this is a skill issue. This is a skill issue. Not in a demeaning sort of way, not in a belittling sort of way, an encouraging sort of way. This is not something that you're helpless, you're hopeless. No, it's a skill issue. And skill can be improved upon. Your skill level depends on your time and your energy and your effort that you have applied to it. So, if you are a fearful person, the good news is you don't have to be. I'll end where I began. Community. Why will people be afraid of humaning? Why might someone out there go, Gus talked about these Cosa Nostra rendezvous here in the community for months. I mean, he talks about them all the time, but for the last couple months, he's really hammered these things. He's encouraged people to get plugged into this community where you intentionally, where you opt in to the discomfort of human interaction once a week, paced, spread out, for 90 minutes, not overwhelming and crushing. And he calls it training. He calls it the Humaning Dojo. The CNRs, as we like to call them, are purpose-built for precisely what I've just described. For you. Yes, you. Me hearing this? Yes. So long as this project is still up and running while you're hearing these words, even if it's 10 years from now. This community is purpose-built with being a kind of exposure therapy for you. For everyone out there who does not have or has not had, from any age, a regimented training interaction with the scary business of interacting with your fellow man. Yes, humaning. That's what this is. Humiliation. Yeah, there's technically a risk of that. I don't think I or anybody else who would facilitate such a thing would be a particularly good facilitator if we allowed such a thing to just go along unfettered, but technically the risk exists. I'm not there all the time, etc. Okay, sure. Rejection. Could your peers reject you socially? Could they think you weird? Yeah, all those are real risks, yeah. What if you don't really understand what you believe? What if you've never really had to put your own thoughts and beliefs to the test? You've never put them through the fire. You've never refined your thinking. You have strong opinions, perhaps, about all kinds of stuff in the world, but you never brought those opinions to be scrutinized by others. You've never bared your soul in this sense and had others go, that's stupid. That's a terrible way of looking at things. That leads to disaster. No. Your outlook is completely wrong. Also, so are your facts. Where did you get all of this? Could all of that be embarrassing? Oh, yes. But why is it embarrassing? For your benefit. We do this in a controlled environment where the people say, I'm a good faith actor, I'm going to try to be one. And I'm going to correct bad behavior out of love, out of concern, out of care. Not to belittle, not to humiliate, not to embarrass, but to build up. How many of you have had all of that risk tested? All those social fears and anxieties tested? How many of you have brought them to bear? To be scrutinized. To be beat up a little bit. To be roughed up a little bit. How many of you have thoughts about the world, opinions about the world that are totally untested? Here's what I think. Strong opinion about subject. How many people have you ever sat down with who you could, in good faith, in a trusting environment, allow access to your strongly held beliefs and they just go nuts? In care. How many times have you submitted your feelings, your energies, to such scrutiny, to such risk, to such danger? It might be the case that your thoughts are unrefined, and they need to be, because they are naive, perhaps, short-sighted, based on nothing, on just ignorance, all host of things. And that's just those things. What about your social standing, your reputation? What is it? Do you have one? I taught the word character a while ago. It's one of my favorites. Comes from the ancient Greek, the karasso. Okay, shares the same thing, karasso. It means to etch into something. Your character is what is etched into you. Many of you have nothing etched into you. And that's not a specific condemnation of you, but that is a condemnation of the world that we live in, such that we don't ever have to face circumstances where our ideas and our identity is put to the test. Meanwhile, I've got a really strong sense of who I am, who I'm not, what I'm into, what I'm not, what I believe, what I don't, what I care about, what I don't. I've got a really strong sense of all of those things because they are constantly put to the test. And that's not hyperbolic. I mean constantly. It's kind of my line of work, in fact. When I say to you guys that I love you, is that not put to the test every single time one of you says something hard or out of pocket? What about when someone spits in my face or slanders me? And I say, I love you anyways. Is that put to the test? Now, this is etched into me. My character will reflect the things that have been tested. The things that I have opted into allowing to be tested. And the consequence of that is courage. I am not afraid of your guys' slander or lies or whatever else. Something might happen or be brought to bear. Not accusing any of you of doing that. I'm saying, should the thing arise, and it has happened, I am not afraid of it. It will not be my undoing. Why? Because I've done worse. I've dealt with worse. I've survived worse. Why might someone be afraid of something like a weekly get-together in a smaller sort of group community thing? Because you've never done it. And maybe, perhaps you've tried and you faced rejection. Maybe you were embarrassed. Maybe you were let down. Maybe you ran from the discomfort. To be a courageous person. That is, just to be able to stand what are legitimate concerns. You must have reps. You need evidence for you. So those of you who shake like a leaf, you need this too. I would say start small. Get small wins under your belt. There's a select minority of you who seem to believe that if I can't face my biggest, scariest, most legitimate fears, none of the rest of them are worth facing. You again have it completely backwards. I'll only face up to the Mount Everest of my problems, and I don't want to. Well, yeah, you don't say. You haven't dealt with this or that thing's insignificant, it doesn't matter. That's your training. That's your training camp. That's your training grounds. That's your bread and butter for getting to the Everest of problems. You have to have wins, no matter how small. And then your little stack of wins, your little pile of wins here, turns into a hill of wins. And that turns into a couple hills of wins. And eventually, those things will become a Mount Everest of wins. So that when a Mount Everest-sized fear comes along, a legitimate problem, a legitimate threat comes along, you can look at it and go, yeah, I've dealt with worse. I want that for you. I want that for each of you. I want each of you to look into life's uncertainty, the unknowns, and go, yeah, okay, I haven't seen this specific thing before, but I can think of, a few things that are like this that I've dealt with before. And if it's something that's completely unknown, so far out of your lexicon of like understanding and familiarity, you're like, I don't know this thing, but I've done a lot of hard things. So the unknown doesn't scare me. That's what I want. That's what I want for each of you. Join something like a CNR, and then keep showing up. But there's discomfort, indeed. Do the spider thing. Do the ocean thing. Do the heights thing. Face these circumstances and walk away from them victorious. Add to your pile of wins. Not in order that the scary things of the world become less scary. Not where the legitimate threats of the world become less of a threat. The dangerous things stop being dangerous. No, they will remain threatening. They will remain scary, and they will remain dangerous. You will be the thing that has changed. You. The world is fixed in this way. There remain things to be fearful of. But you can be brave. I was very encouraged by one of you who reached out to me about 3 weeks ago now and said, Gus, I don't even recognize myself from a year ago. I never would have written a message like this to you. I never would have DM'd you. I was such a fearful person. And I would not have reached out to anybody. And now, I'll DM all sorts of people about all sorts of things. Now I'll reach out. Now I meet with people. Now I'm part of a civic group. Now I meet with people all the time. Who am I? Changed. And for the better. Personal responsibility. Nobody can do this for you. Just you. Do you want it? This is going to be my question for everybody who's doing this. And I'm going to be hitting the crews with a version of this. It's why I bring it up. A version of this for next week's rendezvous. I'm going to be asking you guys. One crew, incidentally, was very eager to talk about some serious things and jumped the gun a little bit on this. Next week's cruise, this is a bit of a spoiler. I'm going to be asking about goals and all of that, but it's going to be tied to fears. And I want those of you hearing my words now to consider this. What stands between you and some legitimate goal that you have? For just this year. It doesn't need to be life, just this year. I want to do this thing. Okay. What might stop you? What trepidation? What hang-ups? What reservations? What will cause you to recoil? Do you have a plan to face those things? My encouragement is going to be the rendezvous may very well be the best possible place to have accountability in doing so. To have people encourage you. They can't fight for you. They can't be in there in the ring, but they can be in your corner. They can cheer you on. They can give you counsel. They can do all that from the side. They can't fight for you. They can't throw the punches for you. They can't face down the danger for you. But they can be right there encouraging you. Personal responsibility. Doesn't happen without it. That concludes my remarks for this thing. I told you it was going to be somewhat simple and somewhat short. I delivered somewhat on the former. I want you guys to become brave. To face down no matter what comes. No matter what's happening with your family. No matter what's happening with your work. No matter what's happening with your health. I want you guys to have evidence that you can bring against you. I can't do this. I can't do this. Yes, you can. Yes, do you remember this thing? Was that not way worse than this? Wasn't that so much higher risk? I want that for you guys. Don't forget, tomorrow begins the new schedule. Well, a new addition to the schedule. A morning stream. Tomorrow morning will be my first ever morning stream. This is because I miss a lot of you guys because of time zone differences. I miss a ton of you. In particular, people across the puddle, but people everywhere. I want to be in a time zone where I can catch up with you guys. No formal lecture. It's a just chatting session. It's only 90 minutes. You got to be there kind of quick. Whatever you guys want to chat about, whatever's on your heart, whatever's in your head, whatever's on your mind. Saturday mornings. Just a time to touch base. Just to keep a thread, a continuity of story between us. Tell me what's happening in your world, and you ask questions about what's happening in mine, whatever it is. It's 90 minutes once a week to touch base. Let someone else know that you're still breathing, that you're on this side of the daisies. Then I will be streaming tomorrow night as well. My Saturday night streams remain. And those are going to be The Pile. We're back to Dishonored tomorrow night, which is hilarious. And that is because I believe that real relationships, you guys, the kind that I aim to foster around here, I don't think that every single interaction needs to be super stoic. I don't think that every single thing ought also be super silly all the time and we just issue all seriousness. I think we need both. I think real relationships, real humaning involves both. We need human interaction from the spectrum of them, okay? From the silly to the serious. We've got some serious here tonight. Tomorrow is going to be pretty chill with the just chatting, but depending on what you guys bring up, maybe it could be a little more serious. Tomorrow night, though, out of pocket. Tomorrow night is going to be unhinged, off the rails. Pick your descriptors here. Tomorrow night's going to be freaking hysterical. Now, I think we're actually going to finish the game tomorrow night. We're that close. I think we will actually finish Dishonored tomorrow night. So, it's pretty heckin' great. The way we've been playing it, we're setting world records, you guys. We're doing a world first with The Pile. The Pile, The Pile. My goodness gracious, The Pile. You hear that? The sound of a healthy pile. It's going to be some goodness there. That'll be in the usual places. Follow me on Rumble, Twitch, YouTube. Join the community Discord. Links in the usual places for the usual things. I've got, man, oh man, we've got long form videos and so many shorts, y'all, rolling out on Rumble and YouTube. Because Rumble just started Rumble Shorts like 2 weeks ago now or something like that. So, Rumble, oh my gosh, you guys. Oh my gosh. It's going to be crazy. So, what time are you starting? 10 a.m. Pacific time. So, some people are like, all of y'all over there on the East Coast are like, that's not morning. Yeah, I know it's afternoon for you, but it's morning for me. So, I've got my morning routine. I've got my stream starting at 10. So, 10 a.m. Pacific time. And then I've got CNR afterwards. So we got a rendezvous after, like right after stream. So I got to be pretty particular about my end time and all that jazz. And then after that, I've got evening stream. So again, tomorrow might just be another fasting day for me. I might do it on Wednesdays and on Saturdays. So I won't be able to have like fun drink with you guys. Not that I'm gonna pick up whiskey at 10 a.m. Don't have that kind of relationship with whiskey or with drink generally. But I might just do black coffee like I do on Wednesdays. So I might use this as a chance to slim down and stop being such a fatarse. I would like to be less of a fatarse. I could have just said less because the volume, it's, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. But that's actually where I'm going to wrap things up, you guys. That's right. Reclaim your bandwidth. Reclaim your evenings. I'm not going to raid out. I don't love to raid out after the seriousness. You guys know this. That's why we disable raids during this. One, because I get derailed really easily, right? I get distracted super easily. I lose my train of thought when I'm like after it. But two, it's very jarring because you guys know that I want to be an enthusiastic and happy host when someone comes in. But very often we're talking about some deep darks, right? Very often we're talking about some heavy stuff. And it's like, oh, what did we just raid into? We don't want to scare off people, you know? So the rest of the streams are open to raids, which will include Saturday mornings. That's going to be interesting because it's going to be such a short time. I have no idea what that looks like. I also don't know anybody at that time slot, you guys. I don't know anybody at that hour. So, I mean, I do. I know a couple people, yes. There's people in the Mafia, of course, who stream during that time and so forth. I know, like, people who are on the interwebs then. But, like, you guys are here because your schedule allows you to be here for some of this. Some of you really stretch the meaning of your schedule allows you to be, and I'm very grateful for that. Those of you guys who fight to be present, regardless of incredible busyness or other things going on. I'm very grateful to all of you guys who have sacrificed to be here. Saturday mornings, though, I don't know what your guys' availability is. I don't know. You guys got different schedules than me. I don't know who is even going to be able to be here. So, yes, I have a little bit of anxiety about tomorrow because I don't know who I'm going to get to see. I don't know. Maybe I just sit there and talk to myself, which, you know, I don't have so much of a problem with. The voices keep me company. I could do that on Saturday mornings. I have to crack a book, just sit here and read by myself. No, but if you guys are around, I would love to see you. I would love to hear. I would love to hear from you guys. I'd love to see you. I'd love to have familiar faces around if it's at all possible. So let me know. You know, you tell me, pop up tomorrow and let me know. Yes, this is a time I can make it. No, this is a time I can't make it. This is awful. And if you're like not around and you really want to support this thing, you could pull up a tab tonight. I'm going to, right after this stream, I'm going to schedule tomorrow morning's stream across the board on Rumble, Twitch, YouTube. It's going to be on all of them again. So you could pull up a tab tonight. If you're not around, you could leave your bandwidth. You could. I'd be grateful to see who the heck I can. It means an awful lot, again, that you guys would part with a Friday evening. Some of you are already into Saturday. I know. But you guys could be any old where doing any old thing, but you chose a difficulty. You opted in to difficulty and potential discomfort tonight. You opted in to hearing different ideas from yours, to hearing your ideas challenged, to hearing something that you hated. You opted into that. And so long as this was not foisted upon you, so long as you said, no, I knew the risks, I came anyways. I felt the danger, I felt the potential, I felt the discomfort, and I remained. I didn't tab out, I didn't click away, I didn't close my tab, I remained in it, I sat in the discomfort. Then you have grown. Stronger each time. And again, says something about the caliber of human that I'm fortunate to do life alongside. And it's to you, that remarkable sort, to whom I get to raise my glass. Thank you again, dear friends, for all that you make possible. You are the proof of concept for this scaling and saving the world. Cheers. Thank you to everybody who gifted subs tonight, to everybody who, again, pulled up a tab even though it was super inconvenient, to all of you who participated in this, who gave thought to the questions, to the concerns, who seriously put pen to paper, actually started taking notes on this, to all of you who genuinely do want to get stronger, to get more courageous. It's going to take courage, you guys, to fix this mess. It's going to take courage to save the world. It's going to take courage to save your friends and your family. It's going to take an awful lot of courage. And you guys saying, I choose the discomfort, are saying, I'll be the one. I'm not counting on the statistics that those people will take care of it somewhere. I'll be the one. Doesn't get fixed without people doing that. So I'm grateful. Grateful to know you. Again, won't be raiding out here tonight. We're ending on a serious note, and I will just bid you guys fare thee wells. But if you want to refresh these tabs afterwards, again, I'm going to, here in the next handful of minutes, probably in the next 10 minutes, I will have scheduled out tomorrow morning's stream. So you can just pull up the tabs for that, and we'll go into some of that. That's my plan. I will try to spend what remains of my evening catching up on some correspondences, because there are quite a few of those that I need to get back to. So apologies for all of you who have been waiting. I'm trying. I'm trying. And technically, I didn't intend on saying this, but you know what? On the heels of tonight's, if you are not yet plugged into a Cosa Nostra rendezvous, a CNR, our community's answer to all of this, our community's training ground for humaning, if you are not yet plugged in to 90 minutes once a week, they kicked off... What is this? What is happening? There's just nothing. There's just what is that? Guts! Hey! That's crazy! Guts, really? That's crazy. Thank you, my friend. That's so cool. A coffee sub? Thanks, friendo. Thanks. Aw. Don't you do enough? What the heck? Goes for the rest of you out there. My goodness. Thank you. That is no small thing, my friend. That is no small thing. To all of you who've made this possible. All of you guys out there who have sacrificed to give this thing a present and a hopeful future. Especially large thank yous are owed to the public patrons. These are the folks who've taken that support to the next level. I get to plan the future of this business because of the likes of Aki, Dano, Duckling, Leanne, Goose, Kira, Abby, Tink, Helly, May, Karma, Pre, Retro, Rick, Ryan, Mouse, Trotsky, Pell, CJ number 1, and Zin, and a mystery person that I may or may not get to add to the list because I don't yet know if they want to be added to the list. Thank you guys. Guts, you joining that list of fabulous humans means an awful heck of a lot. Last call. If you are not yet plugged into a CNR, technically they've started this week. The first ones kicked off on Wednesday. The second batch of first ones are tomorrow afternoon, or at noon my time. No, yeah, noon my time. I have to end on time with my stream because I go right into the rendezvous. Technically the first ones are now begun. But there are a couple spots, and I mean a couple spots, on Wednesdays. If you are at all interested in getting into the CNRs, it is not too late to get you roped in. For the first, 2 weeks here, we've got a little fudge room. There have been some people who are, right on the line here, and they're going to be jumping in next week also. So there are a few spots left. A couple spots. If you think you can swing them. They're chiefly earlier, okay, in the day. I don't have the list at hand here, but there's onesies and 2 at different times in the earlier offerings throughout the day, okay? So that'd be noon Eastern, 2 Eastern, 4 Eastern, 6 Eastern. No, it might just be those first 3. Noon, 2, and 4 Eastern. I believe. I'm West Coast. I'm trying very hard to figure out your guys' time stuff. I'm trying to be more centralized for you guys. You know what I mean? If you're interested in doing this thing and being brave and getting plugged into 90 minutes once a week with community, watch the video, ! Save the world. You can punch this thing in chat. Look, here, go. Save the world. If you want to hear more about them, hear what they're kind of like, whatever, and then DM me. DM either me or one of the consulente in the Mafia Discord, and we'll see. But we're right on the line here, so it'd have to be quick. Last call. The next ones don't kick up for 6 months. First week of September will be the next one. And if you're not there yet, that's okay. It is my hope that you will keep coming back to all of this, that you will be brave week after week, such that when September rolls around, you can confidently say in the month leading up to it, oh yeah, baby. I'm in. Sign me up, babe. Put me on the list for that time. I'm set. I'm hopeful. I am hopeful. Thank you for dropping links, you guys. All of you have. Super good to see all of you. Apologies for all the faces I didn't get to say hi to. I see Lucy. I see Fly. I see lots of... I think I saw Caleb in there. I know I missed a bunch of you guys. Super grateful to have you guys. Hopefully I get to see you guys soon in a format where I'm not missing all of my chat and everything else. So, what will it look like? What will it look like in the hours ahead, in the days, weeks ahead of us? What will it look like for this experimental morning stream? What will we get up to? Will it be any good? Will we rage quit the thing in 2 seconds flat because it's awful? Will we finish the game tomorrow night? Will we finish the pile? Will we complete our work? What about on Tuesday in it when we get back to Arc Raiders? What will become of this thing, this project that we are here embarked upon? Come and see. Come and see. And as ever, I will strive to see that it's a decision that you don't regret. In the meantime, I wish for you each marvelous evenings, mornings, wherever ye be, and I will see you on the other side.